Kevin Duffy here of MassLive.com, joined by Kevin Dillon. We're again wearing the exact same thing at Energy Stadium in Houston. Our Facebook Live preview of the game today is brought to you by Diamond Auto, which can be found on shoesdiamond.com. Kevin, let's just get right into the game. We've talked so much about all the other factors, all the other storylines all week, about Belichick retiring and when Brady's going to retire and all this. Let's talk about the matchup here. What do you think the Patriots need to do to win their fifth Super Bowl in Belichick's tenure?
Yeah, I mean, I think for me, it's going to be can they control the ball, can they dominate on the ground, and then can they open things up for Brady in the pass? I think the Patriots offense is obviously going to be a real key in this one, considering the Falcons defense maybe not as up to snuff as some of the other defenses they've faced throughout the year. So the Patriots offense is really going to have to do its best to get things going early. I wouldn't be surprised if they receive the ball. They're going to look to set the tone, control the pace, and then, the Falcons offense, for them to stop them, they really have to really focus on dealing with those running backs. I think Devonta Freeman and Tevin Coleman are going to be big factors. But what about you? What do you think are the key factors for the Patriots?
I think that we've spent a lot of time talking about Julio Jones and how they're going to match up with Julio Jones. The fact is that Julio Jones doesn't dictate whether the Falcons win or lose games, even though he's probably the best all-around receiver in the NFL. There's been 4 games this year where he either hasn't played or has had less than 40 yards receiving, and the Falcons have won all 4 and actually averaged 37 points a game in those 4. The running game, to me, is the absolute key for the Patriots. The Falcons have one of the most balanced offenses we've seen in NFL history, really. They're the first team since the 2004 Chiefs to rank in the top 5 in rushing and passing. The running game puts Matt Ryan in advantageous second down situations, 2nd and 4, 2nd and 5, those kind of things. When the Falcons lost games this year, it was because they struggled to run on first down. I always look back to that Week 10 game against Philadelphia. Philadelphia hit Devonta Freeman for 4 negative runs on first down. They hit his backup, Terran Ward, for a negative run on first down. They put the Falcons in 2nd and 11, 2nd and 12 consistently. The Falcons only scored 15 points in that game. So I think it absolutely starts up front with Alan Branch. Fletcher Cox really disrupted Atlanta in that Week 10 game. Alan Branch doesn't get a lot of national pub, but he can be a disruptive player on the interior. That's where I think this begins for the Patriots.
And Alan Branch is even more important considering the injury to Alex Mack. Alex Mack's a Pro Bowl level center, and he's got a chipped bone, I think, in his leg. So fibula, yeah. So that'll be an interesting one for the Patriots. How effective is Alex Mack, and I guess what would happen to the Falcons' offense if Alex Mack is not obviously 100%?
Right. If the Falcons aren't able to run the ball, I think they might have some trouble scoring. They're not. I don't think the Patriots are going to hold them to like 10 or 14 points, but this is a Falcons team that's averaging 39 a game over their last 6. So if the Patriots can hold them to the low 20s, that's a win for New England. The other thing to look at, aside from the running game, is just how the Falcons use their running backs in the passing game. They can split out Tevin Coleman and Devonta Freeman. They like to take advantage of one of those guys wide against a linebacker. So we'll see if Kyle Van Noy has to get in coverage. I could expect to see Pat Chung a little bit in that role. I think Pat Chung's going to have a multitude of roles today. I think we could see him covering Mohamed Sanu in the slot when the Patriots go with 2 deep safeties in McCourty and Harmon. And I think if they play 6 defensive backs, which I think they could, play 3 corners and 3 safeties, Chung will have responsibility in the box kind of as a run stopper and in coverage against Freeman and Coleman. So he's, to me, 2 of the biggest players are Alan Branch and Patrick Chung today. Yeah,
the Patriots have kind of gone thin at cornerback, but a guy like Chung, he's really been able to help them out in coverage and then also against the run.
Right, Chung's versatility, and Belichick talked about it earlier this postseason. Chung's versatility is what allows them to play McCourty and Harmon together. And to me, I think we're going to see a good amount of 2 deep safety looks because the Falcons are so good vertically passing the ball. So you've got to take away the quick. The Patriots don't give up big plays. That's really the staple of their defense. So they don't want to give up. Green Bay gave up that 73-yard TD to Julio. This Falcons team has 10 guys on it who had gains of 50 yards or more this season. It's a big play offense, so 2 deep safeties take away the big play.
Yeah, for sure. And then on offense, the Falcons defense is young, it's fast, it's a little small. I guess, how do you think the Patriots attack them, especially in the running game?
I think the Patriots can do a little bit of both. And I just talked about how balanced the Falcons have been. Most balanced team since Kansas City Chiefs in 2004, really. But the Patriots have a very balanced offense as well. They can hit you with both. And I think in this game, they're going to. This will not be a game where they spread it out and throw 50 times and run 15 like they did against Seattle in the 2014 Super Bowl. I think they can move the ball effectively both ways. Lewis and Blunt, I believe, are both going to play a decent amount. One guy I look for who might have a significant impact is Malcolm Mitchell. He was rolling for a little bit at that point in the season, and then he suffered a knee injury, kind of slowed him over the past month. I anticipate Atlanta will pay a lot of attention to Julian Edelman. You have the linebackers playing the zones in the middle of the field, and they're always going to be aware of where Edelman is. I think Mitchell can have some advantageous matchups, and he's a guy who I like in this game to have a decent performance.
For sure. Now, the quick break here, we're going to give you guys a look at what the stadium looks like right now. It's really empty, but there's still plenty of fans showing up. We're here hours and hours before the game starts, and people are already filing in. So it's huge. There's double, like, what is that? 3 decks, 4 decks up there. There's plenty of suites. So It's really a great spot for the Super Bowl. So, and we're here. The lower level. We're still providing this preview here for this game. You talked a little bit about Malcolm Mitchell. The Falcons, we've talked about a little bit this week. They're not great against yards after catch. I know they were, I think, the worst in the league against it. Right. I guess, does that bode well for someone like Julian Edelman today?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's tremendous for Edelman. Julian Edelman is on probably the best stretch of his career. He's averaging 100.3 yards over the last 10. And I mean, he is without question the #1 receiver, and it's not like teams don't know that. They do know it. They just haven't been able to stop him. And when you watch this Atlanta team, I don't know if they're going to really be able to slow Edelman that much. He can slip a tackle and turn what should be a 5-yard gain into a 14 or 15-yard gain, and the same deal with Dion Lewis. So both those guys are going to be very important today.
Now, I know you actually wrote a little story about both Dion Lewis and Julian Edelman this morning. You might tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a premise that you guys haven't heard, that the Patriots are excellent at just finding these guys. It's pretty stunning to me, the consistency with which they've done that over 15 years, because you can't really count on, well, we're going to sign this street free agent or this undrafted rookie free agent, but it continues to happen with the Patriots. In regards to Edelman and Lewis, I just basically wrote a little bit about how they got here. The Patriots were really the only team that was showing interest in Julian Edelman in the 2009 draft. They sent Ivan Fears, the running backs coach, out there to work Edelman out, which is kind of an indication that they didn't even really know what position Edelman was going to play. I mean, they had a running backs coach working him out. The Patriots were the only team that visited Kent State for a private workout for Edelman. And I think the message is that the Patriots generally have they've been very open about scouting and evaluating kind of unconventional talent, whereas other teams might see that and look at him, okay, he's a 5'10" quarterback, we're not going to bother investigating, looking into this guy. I think the message of the story really is that the Patriots have always done their homework. And in Dion Lewis's case, the stability of the Patriots coaching staff has gotten even more important each year as there's more turnover in the NFL. Dion Lewis was traded from Philadelphia because he didn't fit Chip Kelly's offense. He was cut by the Browns because the Browns' new coaching staff that came in after they fired the staff that traded for Lewis wanted big running backs. So Dion Lewis's odd career was almost the result of, coaching staff shifting and him not fitting what they wanted to do. So the Patriots, who have been doing the same thing for 15 years, just kind of sit there, wait for these guys to become available, and then they pick up guys they want. And Lewis is an example. Eric Rowe this year is an example of that. Edelman, not really because he was a draft pick, but it's just, we talk so much about Belichick and Brady, but they do an incredible job of assembling talent, and that's why they're here for a 7th time.
For sure. Actually, just to do a quick intro, they've got Fixing the Tantrums is playing right now. They've got a little concert going on the here and there. I know that's at the official Super Bowl tailgate, so there's all sorts of parties going on around here. The screens are huge. No Jerry World screen, but a nice little looking right there. Jerry World's ridiculous.
You don't want to have a game at Jerry World. It's too much.
Too much.
It's bigger than my hometown.
Gotcha. So last thing for me, I know things have kind of come down to the kickers a lot going in Super Bowls. I mean, Adam Vinatieri's had plenty of great kicks. Today, it's a great day to be kicking if you're Stephen Gostkowski.
72, no win.
72, no win. So
Yes.
I would expect that if it comes down to a close one, if there's a team that needs a field goal, I'd expect that the kickers would have not as much trouble as, say, like in a different day.
Yeah, that's actually a great point by you, because no one's really talked about Gostkowski. You know, midway through the season, people were maybe thinking the Pats might bring in somebody to work out. Like, he was struggling. He was missing either a field goal or an extra point almost every game. And he had a rough preseason too, but he's been great over the second half of the season. And the Patriots have always kind of maintained confidence in him. Belichick is, even when he was struggling, Belichick has continually said, I wouldn't want anybody else other than Steven with the game on the line. And while you expect him to say that, I'm sure that Stephen Gostkowski appreciates words like that coming from Belichick when he's struggling. So the special teams problems that were plaguing the Patriots earlier in the year, not so much now. Gostkowski looks good. Cyrus Jones has not played in a long time.
Yeah.
So that they've really shored up that aspect of the game.
For sure. All right, we broke down offense, defense, and special teams. I think we're probably going to call it here. Thanks again to Diamond Auto Group, ChooseDiamond.com for sponsoring this, and we'll be back with plenty more coverage today, more Facebook Lives, more videos, more stories. So stay tuned, everyone, and have fun watching the game.